Okay, guys, so in the first part of the little vertical jump series videos, we talked about your first two steps, first two things to improve your vertical jump. Number one was lose some fat, don't be a fat ass. Number two was get stronger, get better at the big basic movements. Those things get you well on your way, but I did want to give you a little bit more information on how to lose fat. So, first things first, don't eat freaking junk. You're not a dumbass. You're not stupid. So don't eat junk. If you're trying to lean up and you know you got that belly going, don't be drinking your Coke, your soda, your pap, as the Minnesotans will say up here. You don't need to be drinking lots of pap, all right? You got too much sugar going, and it's just not good for you. You're just gonna put on a belly, and you don't need that when it's not a very cold winter, all right? So anyway, in the spring coming up, you want to have that nice six pack, and you need to stop drinking the pap. Okay, so enough of that. I'll be here all night, guys. So go ahead and you can send your tips below. Ha ha ha. So seriously, you don't need to be eating junk. So cut that. It's not good for you. It's not helping you in any way. And really, there are other things that you can get that'll probably satisfy you just as much. That have a lot better health profile, if you will. So stop eating, drinking the crap. For the young kids, that's probably going to be enough. You guys that are in high school that they got the chubby tubby going on right now, just don't eat the junk. You can't have a lunch that's Snickers and a frickin' pap, all right? You can't have a Dr. Pepper and a Snickers for lunch and expect to lean down. Just not going to happen. So cut that crap out. For the older guys, stuff can be a little more complicated, and there are a few tips that we can get you sort of on your way. First things first, you're trying to lean down. You got a little tummy going. I like to say one of my rules for trying to lean down some, or at least pay attention to what you're eating, is if you can grab a decent bit of fat, if you can grab more than basically the back of your hand, or even getting into your forearm or bicep, then you are probably not one of the individuals that can eat whatever they want and stay thin. So you do have to watch your carb intake. Is it a perfect system? Is it scientific? No. It's just, okay, you got some fat. You obviously can put some on. Let's be a little more careful about what you eat. Obviously, I had a roommate in college. His stomach was like this. Seriously, had absolutely no fat on him, weighed 125, 130 pounds, whatever he weighed, and had to badger him to eat, because he wouldn't get fat if he did. I don't know if he really ever listened. He was just a roommate, wasn't an athlete or anything. So, well, whatever. Thing is, if you've got that fat on you, got some belly on you, then you're gonna have to watch what you eat. So, how do we watch what you eat? Rule number one, and this is probably against your common wisdom and certainly what you read on the dang food pyramid, don't have carbs in the morning. You really don't have a need for them in the morning. People will say, oh, but they're going to energize me the rest of the day. Oh, yeah. Well, then, have carbs at lunch if you must, depending on how much fat you're trying to lose. The thing is, in the morning, your body is more primed to lose fat than at any other time of the day. It's a hormonal issue, blood sugar issue, and by spiking your insulin, by having carbs, you're basically turning off the fat shedding mechanisms of your body. So you don't want to do that first thing in the morning. Next thing, and all that said, do not shy away from protein, healthy fats. You're going to need to get your energy in the form of food. If you're not doing intermittent fasting, and that's a whole nother article, a whole nother issue that we're not going to cover here. But basically, you don't need carbs in the morning. Don't mess with it unless you're a kid that's just trying to put on lots of weight, which is fine if that's what you need to be better. Next thing, if you follow that for a couple weeks and you're still not dropping any fat at all, then go ahead and try to cut some carbs out at lunch. Um, Note your progress there, see where you're at, and then have some carbs either. Let's say before your workout is fine, and then certainly after your workout. After your workout, by all means, have carbs. Um, but if you're really trying to lean down, I limit them to the 2 meals before, or the meal before and the meal after, or even just the meal or two after the workout and not having any before. Um, Had some great results with that myself, even running track and field and doing pretty long and grueling workouts. Um, Next thing, whoop, surprise. Next thing, if you still are having trouble dropping fat, then you can do some morning cardio. Now, what do I mean by this? Um, Basically, low impact, low stress activity that gets your heart rate up, gets you moving, and maybe provides something that you'll be able to use in your athletic endeavors that you're trying to accomplish. Uh, so, how do we do that? Um, Basically, two things, um, or two options, and both of them involve walking. This is prescribed with the expectation that you are doing something athletic at least a couple of times a week, either playing basketball, and you've got practice and games and all that stuff, or you're a washed up meathead and being a weekend warrior playing maybe once or twice a week, but you're doing something athletic that's causing a bit of a pounding on your joints, and so there's no need to do more of that in the morning. So anyway, the two things as far as morning cardio that I can recommend for you that I think are pretty great. So first thing, or first choice, treadmill. Okay, we're gonna go a 15-degree grade, and we're gonna go 2 to 3.5 miles per hour. Can you see that? 2 to 3.5 miles per hour. 20 minutes. That was completely worthless, wasn't it? Guidelines for the treadmill stuff. You want to work up sweat, but you don't really want to be panting during or after the session. Keep things pretty low intensity. I'd recommend starting off at 2 miles an hour. It should be nice and easy, but you're going to work up a sweat. Heart rate between 110, 130. So we're pretty low there. We're not trying to really develop anything here. We're just working our aerobic system a little bit, getting that heart rate up and doing something that's not going to tear up our joints. Option two is, I'm not even going to mess with the board. Option two is, I think it's Barry Ross that came up with it, and I'll make sure to quote it right below to make sure I'm giving credit where credit's due. But if I remember correctly, Barry Ross, he's a world-class sprint coach, coached numerous world record holders, has his athletes, and you're talking 400-meter runners, which, take it from me, it's a freaking serious race. They will do walking as cardio, and basically do it in the morning, and they'll walk as far as they can for 15 minutes, as fast as they possibly can, to the point to where you're walking and you have to hold yourself back from wanting to jog. This makes it extremely difficult on your system because you're walking so fast that it's more efficient to jog, but you got to force yourself to walk. So your heart rate's up higher, but you're not exactly taxing your joints and your system as much. If that makes sense. They'll walk out as far as they can, as fast as they can for 15 minutes, and then when they come back, they will try to get back in faster than 15 minutes. You can do 10 minutes down and 10 minutes back, that's fine. I don't really recommend going any longer than 15 minutes, it's just not necessary. But again, you walk as fast as you possibly can to the point to where you want to jog, but you force your body to keep walking. It's a great way to get that heart rate up, get stuff going, and it's going to work your aerobic system and help you recover between those explosive bouts on the court or on the field. Good thing all around. So coming up on 10 minutes. So first step, cut the junk. Second step, no carbs at breakfast. If you're still not getting progress, go no carbs at lunch too. Finally, if your diet isn't changing things by itself, which it should, you should be getting progress on that, or you plateau after doing those steps for 2, 4, 6 weeks, um, go ahead and hit some morning cardio. Don't be afraid to do that. And you can even throw that in earlier if you want to. It's just not always necessary. And anyway, get closer to jumping higher just because you're cutting some of that dead weight. Fat doesn't help anybody. Fat's dead weight, and you don't need it. So, till next time we'll touch on some specific exercises and sort of programming that I like to do for improving the vertical jump. But get jumping. Hope you get to dunking soon. And dungeon strength conditioning. Oh.